Well, howdy. Welcome back to another episode in the Let's Play world. Thank you guys so much for the support. Last episode, we did build this. It is the building over our mob farm, our Baba Yaga hut house thingy. It's not really a hut. It's kind of a little bit big to be called a hut, but it sounds cool. But yeah, last episode we built this and you guys really liked it. I did have some really good suggestions for the terrain around here, which we will be implementing today. Yeah, to go over this a little bit. I love this tail. It's my favorite part. We just did the exteriors though, and I did go ahead, as I said I was intending to do, and add these roots underneath here just to finish it up a little bit. I know I said it's only the intention that matters, but sometimes, you know, you follow through on the intention, and it just works out that way. But as you can see, the interior is something else. It's a little messy in there. So today, my plans are to work on this interior, to work on the interior of our starter house, ooh, and to sleep. Ugh. But yeah, you can see my inventory is a little bit messy right now, but that's because I did some planning and some preparation for starting with the interior of our cottage over beyond this hill near the sunrise. We shall grab our horse and get over there. We are going to start with the interior of that one just because it's the first thing we built. And also I think it would be, I find it more important to have an interior of your living space rather than your enchanting setup, which is what we're going to put in there, which we are going to do that as well though. Now for the interiors, I want to do this with you guys. And unfortunately I already did record the intro and the audio was bad because I messed with my mic settings too much. Bad. Ooh, it's raining. Yeah, that is nice. I like that. I like the rain. It's very atmospheric. I already did record this part though, where I made a jukebox, and because we're in a meadow, we got a achievement for this. But the audio is bad, and also I kept pressing shift too much, so my computer was like, do you want to enable sticky keys? And it scared me and it stopped the recording. So that was just so annoying. So just in the spirit of already getting that advancement, we're gonna do it again. We're gonna play, I think it's cat. Cat, yep. We're gonna play cat, and we're gonna pretend like we're getting the advancement right now. This is going to be part of our interior design here. Just gonna go right up here. Bam. You know, I actually might put our other one in there, but 11, because I'm never gonna listen to it. But for now, that one can go right there. And we got some interiors to do. So I was thinking I'm gonna start with the kitchen. We have quite a bit to add in here. So let's get started on this kitchen interior. And I will walk y'all through my thought process. So first things first, I'm gonna add some carpets in here. I think we just need a little bit of warmth. I am using moss because I just like the green color. I think it looks nice. It gives that little bit of added extra 3D goodness. And then I also wanted to add one on this little, oh, what is this called? Like a little stop on the stairs. I don't know, but I like this right here. This little section does remind me, my grandparents had this old cabin house thing where my sister and I would always sit on this part of the stairs, and this just kind of looks like it. So I like this. That's very nice. I did some planning in a creative test world because I do struggle with interiors pretty hardcore, but this right here is gonna be our kitchen. First things first, gotta get rid of those bad boys. I need that. We are gonna be sticking up some of these chiseled bookshelves up here. So I'm just gonna be putting 2. I'm thinking we're gonna put some books in there. It's gonna be like our recipe bookshelves, you know, all that. And then over our stovetop area, we're just gonna have a little bit of this kind of deal. It's kind of one of those stove cover things, those hoods, I think they're called. And then down here in the middle, on this third block, we're gonna have a cauldron. That's where we're gonna put our sink. I do also need to make a lever, however you say that. And then I need my smoker, which I thought I had a smoker down here, but apparently I don't. I will have to make one of those. As for this right here, I actually am gonna replace this with some barrels for extra storage. So it's just gonna go like so. And then we're gonna have some herbs kind of hanging from the ceiling here. I don't like how those are off center though. Oh, that is unfortunate. Right here, we're gonna have a little table. We're gonna have a pot on the table. We're gonna have a flower pot in the pot. And in that flower pot, we're gonna have a little mushroom. Right here is where I'd like to put the brewing stand, but I don't currently have that, so it's not currently going up right there. These stairs are gonna go right here And these are gonna allow me to plant some glowberries right here. Some more herbs that have not yet dried like these ones. I'll kind of pretend like these are the same thing. We are going to have some, some wood piles, some logs in here to put on our stove. This is gonna be our little preparation counter, right? And then I thought a bamboo pressure plate totally looks like one of those bamboo cutting boards, and it matches the windows. So I just thought that was beautiful and perfect. Right here, we're gonna have an item frame with some wheat hanging in it. You know, it would totally look better. Some 3D goodness, which we are also gonna have up in here. And then I also do have some string for places like this, just to stop it from growing. Oh, what I also wanted to add on here, instead of these trapdoors, we are going to continue with our theme of a little extra storage. Have some barrels right here. And then right here, instead of this trapdoor, we are going to have a spruce staircase. Bam, like that. Bam, that's gonna go right there. Actually, no, it's not. I'm gonna switch these two. It's gonna go right here. And then this one is gonna go right here. I was kind of too lazy to make another brick one. So I just, I already had one of these laying around. So it's going right there. It's fine. It switches it up a little bit. It was totally on purpose and definitely not me being lazy. Otherwise, what I have to put down is our smoker right here. And then this little flower pot on top is going to be like a boiling pot. We're going to pretend this is like a copper pot or something, although it's not the exact correct color. And we got a little soup in there. That's totally not dirt. It is soup. We're going to pretend. It's worth mentioning. Y'all really liked the Baba Yaga hut. Thank you so much for your support on that. I mean, it does mean a lot. Honestly, it feels really nice to have people enjoy what you make for them. It looks pretty nice. Kind of sections this area off a little bit. Put those right there. Yes, this is what I was thinking. And then put that right there. That's a little bit of a focal point in the room, I guess. And these kind of surround it. I don't know. I like it more. And then glass pane. I kind of like that. It adds more to the space, I think. It gives an illusion of some running water instead of just a faucet. We are going to stick a lantern in the ceiling here, light it up a little bit. I think that's all for this room for now until we get that brewing stand and some books to add. Already, it just has a little bit of extra life in there. I do struggle to design interiors. I don't know what it is. It's just, I think it's because it's so detail oriented and fussy. It can be overwhelming. That being said, some of the things that I have decided to think about when designing the interiors of the builds that we have in our world here. First thing I think about, function. What is this room in the lore supposed to be used for? Gameplay wise, obviously, this is just going to have our brewing stand and our smoker here for food. So nothing too crazy, right? If we're thinking of this world not through Minecraft mechanics, but through just how you'd actually live in it, this room houses, we're drying our herbs here. We're growing this funny little mushroom guy. I just thought it looked pretty magical, so I put the mushroom there. We are storing our logs, right? We have a little pantry right here. This can be our pantry. And then this as well, cupboards. Our cookbooks are up there, even though I obviously don't need cookbooks in Minecraft. Our cutting board. A little boiling pot of soup on the stove. A sink. These are things that we need in real life, but not really in the game. But thinking of adding those things in here does kind of make it cozier. Something I would also like to add is a little dining area. Man, when you don't have a sheep farm, these banners are expensive. But we are going to put that banner right there. It's like a little towel, right? And then right here, we are going to get started on our seating area. For this, I actually do need to dig down a few blocks here. So this is the seat design. I mean, honestly, I've done this design since banners first came out. You put some lights down there because otherwise the banners will they'll get all dark in the design I have. But what you do is you put your seat right here. And when we get the banners, I'll show you what we do. We place them on that block and then they stick up like little pillows on the seats. We need our headrests for these bad boys. We're gonna have some scaffolding right there as a little table. And now we have our candles on there for some lighting, as soon as I light them, of course, and some ambiance at our little desk. Our seating area. More like a booth. And then above here, I am just gonna put some more of these chiseled bookshelves and a couple trapdoors for support. There's a little pretend painting right there. I don't like how the Minecraft paintings take up the whole block in a small space like this. We'll at least add one cushion onto here. We'll add it on this one. So just like that. We'll get our stair back out, place the stair, and bam, you got a little pillow. Honestly, I think it really only needs one. I don't think this other one needs a pillow as well. Don't question the fact that I put a pillow at the eating table. Okay, I know it's a little strange. Is it though? I don't know if that's actually strange or if I just don't eat with pillows near me. I feel like I'd get a mess on them. I don't know. What is the recipe for tinted glass? Ah, okay. Well, that's less expensive than I thought it was, which is positive. This tinted glass is for on top of our record player. I don't know. It might make it look a little bit like a jukebox. I don't really know what time period I'm setting my world in as a note. Right here, I'm gonna do some barrels instead of the bookshelves just to switch it up a little bit. We're gonna have a big old flower pot right here with a little tiny flower pot in there, a little tiny flower pot right there. But I was gonna put those in there and then a nice birch tree in there for the little foyer. We're gonna have some seating for this chair. I'm doing it like that. I'm gonna put another flower pot. Like it's kind of like the interior version of when in doubt, add a planter. When in doubt, add some greenery, pots, plants. It just adds a little bit of life to the build. We're gonna put an azalea in there. That on its own, I don't feel like it's, tall enough. So then we got that bad boy on top. Adds a little bit of color. And then right here, I wanted a little bit of a sign just so you can hit your head on it, And that, my friends, is our little entryway. I don't want to make it too cluttered because this place is a little bit cluttered. So you enter the house right here. Wipe your feet. Close the doors behind you. No creepers, right? You can sit in the waiting room or continue into the our little living area right here. We got some storage. We got some lighting. We got a record player. A jukebox, I think. Is this called a jukebox or a record player? I think it's a jukebox. We got some greenery, which I just really enjoy. We got a little seating area, complete with a single pillow. Bookshelves, which will soon be filled up once again. A little artwork. Some piping to go up to the attic. A pantry 2.0. Cookbooks, which will eventually be there. Some herbs hanging up to dry. A full sink full of dishes that I need to do. We got a cutting board, a bamboo cutting board. Very nice, very nice. And we got our stovetop with some soup. Definitely not dirt in a flower pot. Upstairs is incomplete. So I think it's time to transform this area into our bedroom and storage attic. We're gonna make it look very attic-y. Okay, so for our attic, first things first, we need to divide this room up, which I already did downstairs, by the way, like this stairwell and everything. I already had the structure down in there. That is the first thing I typically add to an interior is the structure we're gonna work with. There is part of that structure. Bam, bam, and bam. Okay, this is gonna act as the main pillar of our room here. We are going to fence off our stairs here because I do keep falling down the stairs. As for function, I want some furnaces in here, but I don't want a big old furnace wall. You know what I'm talking about, like a big old furnace wall where you just have like 9 furnaces in it. It's very functional, but very ugly. So I've added a blast furnace up in there and a regular furnace, and I'm gonna put another one of each. So we'll have 2 of each up in there. I'm also gonna add some bookshelves above our bed here, which I might have to fix that. And then below that, I do want some supports for our bookshelves. So just like that. And then perhaps that in the middle, just so we have a little bit of an arch right there. But we are gonna have some nice wood storage right there, just like so. Right here where this is, we're gonna have a barrel pile. We're gonna have a barrel like this, a barrel like this, and a barrel up here like this, and our stone cutter right there. Just a little pile, ender chest right there, which I hear an enderman. Where did you go? I think you teleported away, unfortunately. Otherwise, I think this area really just needs ender chest and little touches of greenery poking down. It is mostly going to be over here by the bed, but let's go ahead and we're going to switch up our bed a little bit. Over here, I'm just thinking, I don't like how that's even on both sides. I want to add just a little something right there. I do need a moss block. Bam, right there. And I'm going to need another one of these. which I think we're gonna go more like that. And then I'm thinking for this area, I just kind of want the greenery to be peeking in from this grassy roof that I have up here. So that's why this is kind of a weird greenery patch just in the attic. It doesn't really make a whole bunch of sense, but I think it looks nice. There we go. Something like that. Oh, that's adorable. It kind of looks like a little mini stored Christmas tree, like one of those little tiny plastic ones. There we go. Just like so. Put that back. And beautiful. It is on a half slab, which is kind of nice looking. I'll put some extra armor on there whenever I get some so that I don't die and lose all my armor. That would be not ideal at all. That's good enough. I think this looks pretty nice. I would like to sleep in this bed if it were real. And I also just want to have that hanging down by 2. Add a little string. Kind of looks like a cobweb, which I'm not mad about because I really do want this to feel like an attic. So I will actually be adding some extra string just flying around up here. Let's see, where else can we put some? Otherwise, I think really what I need in here is just going to be the ender chest and a couple of amethysts, which I'm going to set like, you know, kind of right here or so. But yeah, that's the interior of our cottage here. I think it's time now to move on to the Baba Yaga house. Now, that interior is going to be a little bit more creepy looking. So I'm excited to see what we come up with. Alrighty, so I did some preliminary floor clearing, as in putting stuff down on top of the dirt. But I figured we could start laying down the, what is it called? Like the structure of the inside together. So we're starting right here. And I am just going to pillar some of these dark oak logs across, like so. And then like so. And all the way across. I'm also going to pillar it across right here. And honestly, I feel like I could leave that one textured. That's going to add a little bit of a multi-story leveling kind of vibe. I don't think that's the right word, but we're going to go with it to this build. So I caught 2 axolotls. What I want to do is give them a nice place to live up there. First things first, let's go ahead and kind of decorate this mossy ceiling and just make it, we're going to go straight with the mossy theme. We are not going to try to fight it. We're going to go along with the flow. For that, I'm going to need some of these glowberries, some of this moss. And we are going to just be putting some glowberries up here. Now, those axolotls. What I want to do with them is give them a nice place to live. We're going to make up here a nice tank for them. Yeah, we're going to do this covering like 1 layer higher. Yeah, I do need to go ahead and grab my little buddies. I don't think they should be able to escape or do anything like meaningful. I hope this doesn't hurt them. They better stay in the water. Can they get landed? Oh, they're so cute. They're so adorable. I feel like axolotls are semi-witchy just because of like newts and stuff being very witchy. I know they're not the same thing, but it's the closest thing we've got in Minecraft. Bam, there we go. They got their new little home. With some strange visual bugs with the water. Huh. Oh, I'm drowning. Amazing. There we go. We got the tank looking nice. Cool. But yeah, y'all can see so far, I've put in the few bookcases that I've made in. And then also just some of these blank ones, because I'll put some books in there to just switch it up a little bit. Otherwise, I have put in this little walkway up to this balcony. I actually do want to put a couple honey blocks in here because they look kind of like jars of preserved body parts. Y'all know what I'm talking about, like where, you know, you see like preserved little animals in jars or like little body parts or something. I don't know. But you think like a mad scientist a little bit. You can kind of also go witch with that as well. But for that, I do need to continue to gather the honey. I mean, this is just terribly, terribly inefficient. I've been kind of slow to record this episode, partially because I'm going out of town. So this episode probably will be later to come out just because I have been slow. And then on top of that, I'm wanting to do a bunch of landscaping. I don't know how much that is actually going to happen and how much of that is going to be next time. I've just been playing very inefficiently, which I'm not mad at. I don't think it's a problem to play inefficiently. I actually don't want to totally make everything super efficient, because if I was doing that, or if I were doing that, I would already have my elytra. I would have a ton of shulker boxes. I would have all that stuff done already. And I'm just not the type of person to rush this game. I would like to kind of just treat it like an art project, treat it like a painting, and take my time with it. Of course, when we move on to bigger projects, we're going to need more tools, which that includes the elytra and the shulker boxes. I mean, like, look at me just running back and forth. I'm not even using my horse, which could make this more efficient. But yeah, no, my goals with this series aren't to be ultra efficient right now. It's more so just to take it slow, enjoy the game, and have fun while I play. By the way, I thought that it looked a little too bright up in here, so what I did is I covered this with trapdoors, and then there was a torch back there. I took the torch out, but just so we can have this little shadow in the corner, just kind of nice, and then the bedroom part can be a little bit brighter. So to start the interior, I need to put in a shelving unit, and we can actually use this for storage. As you can see, my building process, I planned this out in creative because, again, I do struggle with interiors a bit. What that also means, though, is I'm looking at a reference picture on my phone. It's a little goofy, it's a little messy. What matters is that I'm having fun and I'm actually getting this done. So yeah, there's that. Beautiful. And we're going to be putting some stuff in this shelving unit. I wanted it to look a little bit rounded at the top, so I did put those stairs. Yeah, another thing I wanted to do is for our lore. We're thinking about our lore, right? Right here. I want to add a sign, kind of facing the door a little bit, and I want it to say, welcome. Yeah, I thought the welcome sign was like a nice little touch, because it's kind of like, are you really welcome? Only for the witch's gain. So that's going to be a little bit of shelving right there. Honestly, that dirt mixes quite well. I'm just going to leave it. Another thing I would like to add in here is some more shelving. Additionally, I'm going to be putting some hanging plants. I would like to grab a few ferns for those though, so those are going to be empty for now. The crimson fungus, I really like them. They look very magical to me, and they just fit in the flower pots better than the regular older I wanted to say vanilla mushrooms. Those are vanilla. The older mushrooms. The older mushrooms don't fit in the pots quite as well. So I definitely feel like I should have known this, but you cannot bone meal sugarcane. I think I did know it, and I just didn't want to admit that I knew it, you know? On top of here, I want to add, and I don't have one of these yet, but I would like to add a skulk sensor, and here comes my cat. Hello, you're so cute. And this is also something that I want to add. I'm sorry, I know this interior decorating is just really all over the place and not organized, and welcome to my brain is all I have to say to that. I just got home from a little expedition here, and I have some bones, and we tamed our first dog. Hello, buddy. But from my expedition, I got a lot of good stuff. I found another fortress, and I got some blaze rods to make brewing stands. I also found some of these sweet berries from a taiga, so that was a huge win for me because I wasn't looking for that. All right, let's go ahead and craft a few of those brewing rods. Brewing rods? Brewing stands? They're called brewing stands. Oop, brewing stand. Beautiful, and it really goes nicely with that nether mushroom too. I forget what it's called, like a warped fungus. No, it's the other one, crimson fungus, something like that. I'm gonna put a brewing stand right there on that little shelf. And then one of these skulk sensors is actually going to go, do I have my scaffolding? Yes, I do. All the way up here in the center. And this is actually going to be making constant noise because of the axolotls swimming around. I think it adds to the atmosphere. It's a little creepy, a little uneasy. Cauldron number 1 is going to go right there. Cauldron number 2, I believe is going, well, I originally had it kind of up here. Now, I don't know how much I love that. This is definitely different than I designed it, but I'm kind of okay with it. It's okay to change up your designs a little bit when going into survival. It doesn't have to be exactly block by block, because if I did that, I would go crazy trying to make it perfect. Oh, it is also worth noting that I gathered a few of these beehives with my shovel, because it has silk touch. And then I bred them a couple times, so I have more bees. But now I can, do these only stacked at 4? No, that was weird. Now I can make the beautiful, beautiful honey blocks. I honestly have never really used them in building before, but when I was testing out my creative world, I did find a use for this as a decoration. I want to use this as kind of like a jar of like preserved body parts. It sounds really gross and it's kind of cool in my opinion. Like, you know, like jars of like brains and stuff like that. I think it's fascinating. But since we have an evil witch living in here, maybe she's misunderstood, I don't know. But since we have a kind of creepy witch living in here, I figured one of these like preserved jars of body parts would look good. And yeah, it does. I wish I could I tried pushing an armor stand into this with like a skull on it in my creative world, and I couldn't get it to work properly. So if any of y'all know how to do that, that is something I would really love to do. So you could actually like have a head in there or something. Ender chest is going to go right there on that shelf. Bam. A general rule, just like kind of in art, photography, any sort of anything where you're making a composition, is you want to try, instead of just like having a pair of items, think of it as like looking more visually balanced when you have an odd number of items. So 1 or 3 is probably best. So like for the ferns, right? In this corner, I got 1. Right here, it looks kind of weird with just 2. 3 kind of gives it a visual balance. So that's the thought process there. I did a little bit more work on this just while waiting. I did get 2 more bookshelves. So those are right here, an amethyst on top. And I really hated the bed right here. So what I did was I thought it would be kind of cool to have like a little loft secret bed. So if you see those dark oak slabs right there, I don't know how I feel about this with the bamboo doors behind. It looks a little cluttered, but I thought it was better than having, you know, no ladder up there. Up here, I stuck a little secret bed. So if we ever want to sleep while we're in here, we can do so without having a weird random bed like in the middle of this witch room. I just thought that would be weird looking. I did also add a few candles right there. 3 candles is the way to go in my opinion instead of 4. So this catalyst, which I don't even know what these do, I just thought it looked kind of magical. So I put that right there. And instead of having it like flat with this, I put a trapdoor there to have a little bit more separation between these two. That little jut out right there makes a big difference. I would like to actually, in this field that we're going to be decorating, have some beehives scattered around. And then I would like to make an automatic bee farm. So we'll make a little automatic bee farm sanctuary greenhouse thing. We'll see how I design it. I'll come up with something cool. In the field in front of it, just have a bunch of bees flying around. I think that would be so awesome. I'm actually afraid of bees in real life, like very afraid of them. Wasps even more so, but I'm still afraid of bees. But in Minecraft, they're just so adorable. I actually have a stuffed one. Maybe I'll put a photo of that in here. So I got impatient. I'm on the hunt for sugarcane. Something I'm noticing about myself in this episode in particular is I'm spending a lot of time off camera gathering little items that I really need. Ooh, what this is telling me is that I need to set up some farms for these things that we're going to need quite often. I can't see myself only having 2 enchanting stations in the world, and I really can't see myself not needing fireworks in the future for the elytra or elytra. I've always said elytra, but apparently it's pronounced elytra. I don't know. Iron is going to be another one. Villagers are also going to be another one. I'm not going to go super technical all the time. In fact, I'd like to take these projects and make them into a building spectacle. Something that you could make ugly. You know, you can make it real ugly if you wanted and it would work just fine. But I'd like to make these things large projects. That's another thing I've been thinking about too. I need to figure out what my long-term goals are for this world. I need to figure out these giant projects I was trying to talk about in episode 1. Because I do like building big. The problem is, nothing has hit me quite yet. I haven't found that, oh, this is going to be like the huge project for this world that I'm always going to be working on. Number 1, I've never actually built a villager trading hall before, so I would like to do that. I think that would be something beneficial, especially because I know that they are potentially nerfing villagers in the future to where you had to bring them in from different biomes. So if we went ahead and did that. Another thing I'd like to do in this world too is large scale terraforming. I've done small scale stuff, you know, like, oh, I want the land around my house to look nice. I've never been one to say, I'm going to build a mountain range. But I think that sounds fun, and I think I'd like to try it out. So those are things that we can start thinking about. And if y'all have any ideas of something you'd like to see me build, leave them down below. And honestly, like, there's a high probability I'll like the idea and want to do it. If you came here for large scale projects, we will be having those, and they're not going to get done in one episode. I know there's a lot of content on YouTube now that's like, you come out with an episode every 6 months and you get everything done and most of it's off camera. I would like to include you guys. I'd like to have a slower pace. I don't really subscribe to the whole, you know, I need to cater to people's short attention spans. It's just not really my thing. I'd rather have a more chill, relaxed vibe and something where we can have the journey together and y'all can learn alongside me. You know, I'll have time lapses in there as well, because y'all don't want to build me. Y'all don't want to watch me build block by block. Alrighty, we are back from our little expedition out to the desert to get those sugarcane reeds, because those bad boys were not growing. I went ahead and crafted the last couple of bookshelves, and here we are. Here's the tour. So you walk right in, like so. You got your anvil right here, a little cauldron right here. Walk down. There's a little blank space right there, so I'll think about maybe fitting something in. I don't know. I kind of like how it's empty though. We got a brewing stand. We've got some skulk going off, as you can hear. On here, we got a lantern, crafting table, candles, some stored up wood, this little jar of preserved body parts. Got one up there too. Got some ferns in here, ender chest, which you always need by your enchanting station. We got, obviously, the enchanting station. We got a grindstone right there, some shelving units up in the ceiling, and then up in here, lastly, we've got a hidden bed. So if we ever need to and we're trapped up in here in the nighttime, we can just sleep away. It's really just an enchanting room. And the axolotls, of course. How could I forget them? Main things I thought about were just kind of having some life in here. So I think the skulk and the axolotls do give that, making it feel very cluttered and magical. So the amethyst here definitely gives that feeling. The skulk, I also think, gives that feeling. The brewing stand, some ferns, mushrooms, the jars. The cauldrons also contribute to that feeling of magicalness. Candles. So I am very happy with that. And I think now we're probably going to transition into some landscaping. I think I was a little ambitious with how much we were going to get done. When I thought about making this episode, I was thinking I was going to landscape all the way from here to the house over there. I think I'm going to prioritize the landscaping near the house. And once we get that done, we'll see how much time we have. I do kind of want to go over how I think about building custom trees, because I think that is just something that a lot of people struggle with, and I myself included struggle with it. Grammar. Alrighty, you guys, I just spent a ton of time on these trees. I hope you enjoyed the time lapse. And this is what we're working with. I'm really happy about this so far. We ran into some issues in that they are more time and resource intensive. Get away from my trees. They're more time and resource intensive than I thought. Each of these trees took me 3 hours to build, and that is not including the time spent gathering materials. So I decided to call it there for today, just because we are kind of running low on episode time, I would assume. I haven't started editing yet, but I have a lot of footage. So yeah, I am super, super happy with these. In fact, these guys are scaring me. So you know what we're going to do? We're going to hop inside and I'm going to go into free cam mode. Yeah. And you know what? We'll take a look with the shaders too. Yeah. I am so, so, so happy with these things. I am not experienced with building custom trees, let alone large custom trees. So I'm very proud of how these came out, especially, you know, first go at them. I'm very, very, very happy with these. And it looks so cool from above. Like just imagine when I get all of these trees in and I'm going to have this whole back area filled with them. It's going to look so cool. They look good without the shaders too. Some of the things that I thought about when I was building these trees, and I tried explaining this while I was building it, but I could not build and talk at the same time. Oh, look, a little baby. Oh dear, we went inside of his arm. Okay. But yeah, some of the things I thought about when I was building these, number one is how trees grow, right? They don't typically just grow in a straight up and down line like Minecraft trees over there, as you can see. They don't really grow like that. I was going for aspen-ish looking trees. They don't really look like aspens, but they have that fairy tale look I was looking for. That's really what I'm going for. I'm not going for a real tree type. I'm going for fairy tale trees. And these, I think, do the trick. You know, trees don't really grow up one straight and down, up and down line, and then the branches only come out on the north, south, east, and west. No. Branches go in all sorts of directions. The leaves kind of block it, but if we fly up in here, let's see if we can actually get a good view of this. You can see all of these branches are going out in different directions. If you think about the tree as, I don't remember whose video I saw this in, but it was a really good explanation. I saw in somebody's video that if you think about a circle around the trees, you want branches kind of connecting at most points on the circle. So I think we've succeeded with that here. That also means that, you know, the branches aren't just going to go on a straight line. They're going to be on a diagonal. And diagonals in Minecraft are kind of tricky, but I did use our glass pane trick here to help with that. Additionally, I thought about a gradient. So here at the bottom where we're going to have the most shadow, I did have some of this andesite, and that kind of went into the diorite, into the, you know, this polished andesite, into the calcite, into some birch logs, and then back into diorite because that's what we got for the walls. And then up into some birch fences. For the leaves, I also thought about having a gradient. I thought about having birch kind of on the bottom where the shadows would be, oak in the middle, and azalea on the top with some moss and grass. And then you'll notice more glass panes actually. And these just kind of help from a distance. They help from a distance kind of blend the leaves into the environment instead of being so harsh like the Minecraft leaves on their own. The Minecraft leaves on their own look kind of, you can see just how harsh they look. The glass panes definitely help give these a softer, more blurred look. So I do quite enjoy that. I did make them kind of circular, and you know what? They look a little Dr. Seussy. They do. They look a little Dr. Seussy, but I'm really not mad at that. I think it looks kind of cool. Birch trapdoors are kind of like the best choice I had. I don't love it. If I could get another trapdoor if I could get rid of that brown thing, really, that little handle on there, that would be great. But I'm not really a fan of messing with texture packs. I like using vanilla only. Also, I thought about leaving some air spaces inside of, like you can see right there, there's some air in there, inside of these canopies, just because it makes it look a little bit more fluffy. You don't really want just like a big ball of like solid leaves on top. I basically built the skeleton or the branches first, add the leaves on second. I kind of just, you know, took a look from all angles while I was building with the free cam and made sure that it looked natural from all angles. I think it mostly does. It's not perfect, but trees aren't perfect. I also added little bird nests, one on each tree. And those are the brain coral fans, I think. But all that being said, I think it is time to end off our episode here. I know I didn't get as much done as I thought I would at the beginning of the episode, but yeah, the trees definitely, I bit off more than I could chew for one episode, for sure, with my plans. I'm pretty happy that I challenged myself today, right? If y'all have any ideas to make the interiors look nicer. Any ideas for like a little forest area behind here? I would love to hear them. And yeah, thanks again for joining me for the episode. I know that, again, I'm not perfect. So thank you so much for, once again, I'm using free cam right now, so this is hard to control. But for once again, giving me a chance and showing support, and especially those of you who made it this far in the episode, thank you. It really does mean a lot to me that you have chosen to spend your time watching what I've made. And I really hope that you enjoyed this episode and that you could learn something. And I want to live in this cabin now. It looks very nice with the trees. I can't wait to add more. Thank you again for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye. Oh, here comes Kitty Cat. Hello. Why don't we get down? Let's go. Come on. Thank you. Oh, hello. Please don't knock my mic, sir. You being needy? Hello. Ah, he's making biscuits on my leg. And it's getting dark, so... Oh! Okay. Wow. Oh, again. Oh, I want to kill this guy. That was kind of a bad idea in hindsight. I might die. Where's my food? Burn to death. Oh, now you're on my house. Ah, thank you very much. 4 pearls? Worth it. Again.